Anna Jax could not stop vomiting. When her eyes finally cleared, she looked at her surroundings and froze. She was lying next to the sink in a hotel room. A man lay a few feet away from her, covered in blood. Anna's eyes widened. She held her neck with one hand as she remembered that she had been knocked unconscious. She had overheard her stepmother insulting her biological mother. In her rage, she had let her younger brother roll down the stairs. He was always teasing her. After that, her stepmother and stepsister knocked Anna out. When she woke up, she was in this room. She gritted her teeth in anger at the memory. Just then, she heard quick footsteps getting closer. She realized she probably had less than a minute before someone rushed into the room. Whoever it was would surely think that Anna had killed the man lying on the ground. Her stepmother and stepsister were responsible for her mother's death, and now they wanted to send her to prison. Anna could not let that happen. She had to escape. With less than 20 seconds left, she quickly wiped her fingerprints from the scene and climbed out of the window just as the door opened. As she hung from the window ledge, she knew that her only option was to climb. Her desire to survive gave her the strength to pull herself up. Fortunately, the window on the next floor up was open. She climbed into the room. It was completely dark in front of her. She patted her chest in fear as she acknowledged the danger that she was in. If she did not hurry up, then she would be accused of killing someone and her life would be ruined. She didn't notice the tall, dark figure behind her. His black pajamas were slightly open over his chest, exuding a casual charm. The man's deep, wild, black eyes seemed to pierce the thick darkness and see into Anna's soul. Her heart was beating nervously. She just wanted to leave the strange room as soon as possible, to get away. Her hands groped in the darkness as she slowly walked towards the door, but then she bumped into a hard wall of flesh. What the hell? She pinched it curiously. Suddenly, she was pressed heavily to the bed. She heard a man's malicious voice say, "Climbing up to the 99th floor, eh? You feelers." There was a man in the room. Anna rolled off the bed in panic. A scolding voice came from the balcony. "Damn it! She must have run away!" She was so shocked by the familiar voice that her entire body trembled. She simply could not believe that her boyfriend, David, had been the one to say that. They had been together for 3 years. She never would have thought that he would work with her stepmother and stepsister to frame her. How could she have been so blind? She had really liked David. The doorbell rang. They were here to catch her. "Please, don't open the door," she said to the man. There was blood on her clothes. It would be bad if anyone else saw her. In desperation, she used her petite body to block the door and said, "Please, help me. They want to frame me for murder." "Why should I help you?" he asked. "You can't be working with them too, right?" She was so angry. Her rage filled her with courage. She hugged the man's neck and kissed his thin lips. "You asked for it," he said, taking control of the kiss. Does he have no shame, taking advantage of me like this? She thought. Soon there was a silence on the other side of the door. Feeling safe for the moment, Anna wiped the corner of her mouth in disgust. She turned around and grabbed the door handle, prepared to run away, but her slender waist was still gripped in his hand. "So, you're just going to leave now that you're done with me?" he asked. "Let go of me," she demanded. "And who do you think I am? Someone you can use however you want, then abandon." The man's voice was cold. Just as she was about to retort, Anna felt his body heating up. "Is he?" she wondered. "Come on, woman. Pay up," he said. He pressed forcefully on her waist, and his clothes slipped to the ground. Anna's head felt like it was about to explode. She opened her eyes reluctantly. Once they adjusted to the daylight, she saw the messy bed and scattered clothes. The clothes were hers, and when she put them on, she found that they were torn. That damn man, she thought. Her toes touched a man's suit on the floor. She thought about putting it on over her torn clothes, but decided against it. Instead, she hugged herself tightly and ran out of the room, rushing into the elevator. A flock of reporters soon filled the corridor, their cameras flashing. They spoke over one another. Hurry up, everyone, or we'll be late. We can't lose to the other media outlets. We have to be the first ones there. Looks like everyone's come just to snatch up the early morning news. Well, of course. We couldn't miss the Jack's heiress scandal. Rara led the group of reporters to the hotel room. To her disappointment, Anna was not there. The night before, only that room had not been searched. If Anna was not there, then where was she? Just as Rara turned to leave, she saw a man's suit lying on the floor. The inside of the suit was neatly embroidered with the name Oliver Stan. Rara was shocked. Did this suit actually belong to the CEO of the Klitz Empire? 10 years later, a curvaceous woman exited the international flight security checkpoint. She wore a simple white shirt and a short black skirt. Even dressed so professionally, she was extremely eye-catching. But as equally appealing in a very different way were the two young children beside her, aged 9. They were lively and quiet, with tender faces and soon-to-be handsome features. Passerbys commented on their looks. Oh, they're so handsome. Oh, they're definitely twins. They look exactly the same. Oh, they're so cute. I wish I had twins too. But in the next second, their comments turned scornful. Oh my God, those twins are so pitiful. How sad that they have to do housework at such a young age. That woman must be their stepmother. They looked at Liam, who was pushing the luggage, Noah, who was carrying the woman's handbag with difficulty, and Anna, who had no free hands. The passers-by were sure that she must be the twins' stepmother. Liam, Noah, I'm sorry, I'm just sad. I came back to the U.S. and the people are already judging me, Anna said helplessly. They're just jealous of you, one of her sons said. Why do you say that? She asked. Because they didn't give birth to such smart and handsome sons as us, Liam and Noah said at the same time. You're right. Anna smiled sweetly, but there was a hint of pain in her watery eyes. 10 years ago, after she had escaped from the hotel, she had almost died in a car accident. Not long after she was discharged from the hospital, she found out that she was pregnant. But then she was in another car accident. Someone wanted to kill her, but she was not yet sure who. She could only leave the country in a hurry. I know I'm handsome, Mom, but you're still staring at me in a daze again, Liam said, rolling his eyes at his mother, Anna. Well, it's my fault he's so handsome. Noah pouted innocently. But it's all Mom's fault for doing something bad and giving birth to us when she was so young. Whenever they were in public, they would get harassed by old ladies and kissed and have their picture taken for no reason. They didn't even need to pay for their own meals most of the time. If Anna was not so embarrassed by the idea, if Anna was not so insistent on not exploiting her children, she could have relied on her children's faces for free meals for the rest of her life. Noah, what did I do wrong? Anna asked, raising her eyebrows. Well, 10 years ago, you were barely a grown-up, and you were with a man. But we've never even seen our dad before because you don't even know who you were with, Liam explained before Noah could. When he put it like that, It did sound like she had done something wrong. Well, what am I supposed to do? You guys are just so handsome. She marveled at these children that were really her sons. They had not inherited her oval face at all, and must have gotten their beautiful appearances from their father. They were also very smart. By the age of 3, they could memorize poems and songs, and they had since even skipped a couple of grades. That kind of genius certainly did not come from her either. It looked like they inherited all their good genes from their father. Anna, however, had been having nightmares about that man, the twins' father, for the past 10 years. She and her sons walked out of the airport and got into a taxi. "Mom, Liam, look! That building is so tall!" Noah pointed out the window to the skyscraper towering into the clouds. No matter how far away they went, he could still see it. "Yes, it's very big, very spectacular," Anna said, turning to glance at the building. As she looked out of the window, she was surprised to see an advertisement featuring a fashionable female actress. There was no way she could ever forget that face. It was her stepsister, Rara. For the past 10 years, she had constantly hoped that Monica, her stepmother, and Rara would both get what was coming to them, that they would get on their knees and beg her for forgiveness. But life had never been fair. Rara had escaped any sort of punishment. Instead, she had thrived and had become the most popular actress in the city. The thought made Anna laugh. When Rara was young, she had skipped school and fought a lot with classmates. Her private life was even more chaotic. And Monica must have worked hard in front of Anna's father for the past 10 years if he was letting her ignorant son James take over the family company, Jack's Empire. But Anna had finally returned. And once she was able, she would make them pay for what they had done. A red Ferrari squealed to a stop, and a woman stepped out. She was dressed seductively, and under everyone's envious gazes, she proudly twisted her slender waist and walked into the president's private elevator. Next week, she will marry the mysterious man who dominated the business world. With a quirk of her beautiful red lips, Rara tried her best to suppress her excitement. She walked up to an elegant door, knocked 3 times, and slowly pushed the door open. She lifted her charming eyes and fixed them on the stalwart figure standing in front of the French window. The man was over 6 feet tall, and his figure was as perfect as a model's. He wore a black suit and shirt, shrouding his entire body in dark mystery. His casual attractiveness added to his cold aura, causing the surrounding air to fill with a cold pressure. The man turned his handsome face toward her and placed some documents on the table with slender fingers. His expression was cold. "Is something wrong?" he asked. "Oliver, can't you come with me to the auction tonight?" Rara asked. She knew that part of her reputation relied on the fact that everyone thought it had been her that night. "Sorry, I'm busy." As soon as the words left Oliver's lips, a video conference call came in. "Right. Well, then I won't disturb you," Rara said. She forced a smile and left. But very soon she would be his wife. The taxi sped west. 30 minutes later, it stopped in front of an apartment. "When we go inside, be polite, okay?" Anna touched her sons' heads and kissed them separately. "I know, Mom," they said. Noah got out of the car and jumped up and down. He was so full of energy. Liam carefully held his brother's hand and stood like a good child. Anna reached out and pressed the doorbell. Soon, Robert opened the door. When he saw her, his resentment was clearly etched in his face. "You! When you left, you didn't even tell me where you were going, and now that you're back, you're not even going to say hello, he said. He and Anna were childhood sweethearts and trusted each other very much. But when Anna had left for no apparent reason a few years ago, he had been hurt and angry. "Godfather!" the twins shouted. When he heard them address him so intimately, Robert instantly calmed down. "Come on in, boys. Sit down. I'll go get you something to eat." "Hey, Godfather, are you single too?" Liam asked. "Yeah, Godfather," Noah added. "Didn't you say that if you were still single after 10 years, you would marry our mom?" "Liam, Noah, hush and eat. Don't talk such nonsense, okay?" Anna said quickly. Was she really that pitiful? "Mom, are you gonna be unable to have kids soon?" Noah asked with a blink. Anna was speechless. She thought she was still quite young. "Mom, you better find yourself an honest man and marry him," Liam said coldly.
Did you like this story? You can listen to thousands of such stories on the Pocket FM app. You can download the app now. Click on this icon on your screen, or click the drop-down icon right beside the video title. Or search for Pocket FM on the App Store on your iPhone. Now tap the Get button on your iPhone to install the app. Join millions of other listeners on the Pocket FM app and discover thousands of riveting stories today.